Hi, I'm George Keenan from Red Beach in Auckland, and I'm looking for a career change, and I'm here to find out how to become my own boss.
We've teamed George up with Sarah from Careers New Zealand to guide him through the possibilities when it comes to changing career paths.
Well, in today's workplace, change is constant. So globalisation and economic shifts do play a part, but the key driver is changes in technology. Some jobs have completely fallen off the map, while other jobs that are popular today didn't even exist 10 years ago. Even standard jobs like teacher or police officer have evolved as technology shifts. So what this means for us is that technology not only affects what jobs are out there, it also affects how, when and where we do our work.
Whatever your stage in life, the ability to change career and follow your dream can be a reality.
I was a banker for 18 years and then decided to come to New Zealand and work in the TV industry.
I was sales account manager at Mars Confectionery, so I got to eat a lot of chocolate. And then I went into immigration for a few years, and then from immigration I moved into HR and recruitment.
I was doing like a machine operator job in Hastings, this is where I'm from, and now I'm in the New Zealand Police.
So let's have a look at some possibilities other than simply just a new 9-to-5 job. Yeah?
If you have initiative and enthusiasm, who knows where it will lead you? Paul Richards' passion for keeping fit inspired him to start his own business 30 years ago. Now Club Physical has grown to 10 locations around the country with 250 staff and over 13,000 members. So what's Paul's advice if you've got an idea and want to work for yourself?
If you come up with an idea, just do it and don't wait till it's perfect. It'll never be perfect. You just got to start, you just got to do it.
Now, one man who knows a lot about people working for themselves is Michael Gale. He worked for years as an accountant, specialising in small businesses and startups.
There are many different forms of operating a business. In New Zealand, we have a whole range that we can choose from. They vary in terms of complexity and sometimes in terms of the sort of protection that they might offer you as a business owner. At the one end, we have a sole proprietorship. And that is where simply you conduct a business in your own name. You may choose to trade as a particular brand, but from a legal perspective, it's you trading in your own name.
Rachel works in the HR and Communications department at Health Alliance, looking after the day-to-day running of the Kiwi Health Jobs website. She now has a portfolio of careers, and as well as being a normal employee with Health Alliance, she is also a sole trader doing freelance work as a researcher and director in the TV industry.
What's it like having more than one job, juggling between the two and all that?
Well, it's really great actually, because I love both jobs, and you know, it is important to be able to prioritise your workload though. So home life, work life, and you know, getting everything together. But fortunately, I can work from home as well, so that's really good. As a sole trader, you know, working in the TV sector, I have to do my own invoicing. You know, if you don't invoice, then you don't get paid. So you're kind of having to look after your own accounts and things like that. So yeah, it is a real steep learning curve, but you know, it's been a great experience so far, and you know, I'm really fortunate to be able to do both.
The advantages of that are it's relatively non-complex, quick and easy to set up and start. Some of the drawbacks are, for example, legally, you and your business are one and the same. So there's an inability, for example, to separate, say, your personal assets, like your home, from your business assets.
If you are a sole trader, you have to find your own work, or you can use an agency to do that for you. Another possibility for even more variety in work is to temp. Viv Popplewell runs her own recruiting and temping agency, so George is paying her a visit to get some advice.
So can you tell me what the difference is between like full-time recruitment or like part-time temping?
If you're looking at temping, what is the motivation around that? And sometimes that is because you have other commitments or other parts of your life that you want to develop, so a permanent part-time position may be what you want, versus a temp role, which may be full-time for 2 to 3 weeks and then you change and go to another company. If you want to try different things and you need to have a flexible life, you may be wanting to do some study, or you have other life choices that you want to pursue, I think that can give you a far better flexibility than a full-time role. In temping, you do get exposed to different systems and procedures, and you can pick up different skills.
Probably the most common form of business for small and medium businesses in New Zealand is a structure involving the use of a limited liability company. And as the name suggests there, one of the main advantages of a limited liability company is the fact that it limits your liability. So it creates a foundation for separating your personal affairs from your business affairs. And that is very good, particularly where you may be starting a business that for some or other reason may not necessarily go well, and you would want to protect your personal assets like your home and vehicle, etc., from the business.
Lee Elliott has had a successful career as a freelance writer. With 2 daughters at school, Lee and her husband recently formed a limited company and now run a home-based business selling projector lamps.
It wasn't necessarily the projector lamps as such, because I don't particularly have a passion for those, but I did see the potential in the business for some of the skills that I've got in terms of the interaction with the customers. A lot of the inquiries come through the telephone or the website, and that's, you know, something that I like doing. I like dealing with people, and it was a business that was also home-based when we purchased it from the previous owners, so we knew that we could run it from home as well, and that would give me the flexibility that I wanted to still be here for the girls in the morning and in the evening, and also give me the flexibility to be able to keep them up with the things that they do after school.
Coming from someone who runs their own business from home, is there any advice you can give to me or anyone else out there?
Oh, the main advice I think I would have loved to have got when I was looking at doing this is to find out as much as you can about the business and know, or if you're starting it yourself, know that it's going to actually fit into the environment that you've got at home, and also the amount of time that you've got to dedicate to it. So you know that it's not going to necessarily finish at 5 o'clock, even though you would like it to, that there are going to be times when it does cross over into the rest of your life, and just to be prepared for that and manage it and plan for that.
Now, in the example shown, there's one common factor, and that is, in general, you'll be working for yourself. That's an exciting prospect for many.
If you wanted to own your own business, what would it be?
It would be a restaurant.
Probably my own boutique store.
I'll probably own my own league team, professional league team like Russell Crowe.
Next, we find out more about home-based businesses and the help that's available to get you started.
So, it's clear that when it comes to working for yourself, whether it's as a sole trader or owning your own business, there are a number of skills you have to master. So there are systems out there designed to make your life a lot easier though, and when it comes to accounting, that's one you have to come to grips with. As the saying goes, the person who runs the finances runs the company. Just ask Dave Mason. He's the person that runs the limited company that's making this whole program.
When I came out to New Zealand, I came out and I started work as a sole trader. So that meant that I was working for myself. I was having to market myself as well as sell my services. And then 10 years ago, we started this particular company, which is Dave Mason Productions. And our main program that we produce is this, Just the Job program. When we're in production, there's probably about 12 to 15 people working on the program. And out of those 12 to 15 people, there are only 2 full-time employees. There's myself, an employee of my own company, and my wife, who is also an employee. And so we're the kind of base for the whole thing. And then the other people that work here are sole traders, and they are hired project by project, so program by program. And we also have people who have their own companies who sell their services through that company to me.
When Dave started the company in 2003, there was then and is now a lot of free advice available, including business seminars from the major banks and Inland Revenue.
And today we're going to be looking at our Introduction to Business presentation.
Sam McFarlane is a Community Compliance Officer for Inland Revenue.
We're either out doing a presentation or a seminar or possibly a workshop to businesses, small and medium businesses, or we are visiting people at their homes, giving them the same information in a particular way that's a bit more relevant to them, because they may be at a later stage or a different stage of their business and need some other help with that as well.
So when starting out a business, is there an accounting software or like accountants I can go to help me out and keep the records tidy and clean?
That's up to you, but the simplest records you can keep would be a cash book. We have free downloadable templates on the Inland Revenue website, which you can download. It's a simple Excel spreadsheet, which will help you keep track of all the ingoings and all the outgoings of your business.
You can find out more about Inland Revenue Services online at ird.govt.nz/business.
We'd be lost without our software package.
Well, I acted as Dave's chartered accountant for more than 10 years. Dave's company would serve as a very good example for the optimal use of resources, for example. On the administration front, they've employed the use of software very productively, which has freed up not only their own time, but in our case, freed up the accounting time, so that we were able to not only crunch Dave's numbers, so to speak, we were also able to use our time by focusing forward and participating in some of Dave's strategic and forward-looking decision-making.
I think the key thing is that most small business owners don't tend to go into business thinking that they're going to be accountants or number crunchers. They tend to go into business thinking, I'm going to follow a dream or pursue a passion that I've had for years, and I think I can make a great fist of a small business. But I think it's really important they consider that the accounting side of their business is crucial because of the information it can provide them, and getting that right from really early days is crucial. So the information they glean from their financial accounting software is really the lifeblood of the business. It's really the people who owe me money. How much cash have I got? Am I going to be able to pay myself some money? Have I got enough money to cover the costs and expenses? So whether they're just a start-up business or actually looking to grow or evolve their business or even exit it, the accounts are really important in terms of knowing where they're at.
MYOB cater for businesses small to large, and if you're just starting out, possibly their new cloud-based account system could be the one for you. Plus, they also have a simple web startup package to get you noticed online. Business support is ongoing with their accounts packages through MYOB partners, who will come and visit you and help out with any problems you may be having.
What I love about my job is that we get out on the road, we're visiting business owners all across Auckland. We're getting to see how MYOB can make a difference for them in managing their books, and we're really helping them make sense of their accounts to get a nice simple process in place so that at the end of the month they can see the position of their business. So when a business is starting out, it's a really good time for them to get a partner involved. If somebody isn't specifically an accounts expert, they might be really good at designing websites or setting up a garden landscaping business, but they're not necessarily confident on accounts processes, then it's a really good time for them to get a partner to come out on site. We'd set up the software, customise it for their business, set up all their templates, and then we would actually just train them on the parts of MYOB that they need for their business, because there's a lot involved in the product, but they may only need to use 30 or 40% of it.
MYOB work closely with a lot of good accountants whose goal it is to make businesses succeed. One of these accountants is Lloyd Kirby.
So my advice would be, sit down, do a really, really, really good plan. Actually know where you want to, what you want to achieve, where you want to head, and make sure you're not buying a job, because the trouble with going into business is you're not only going to be doing the job initially, you're going to be doing the books and everything else that you took for granted for when you were working for someone else, because they had other people doing that. So I think having a good business plan, having a good budget, certainly you really should talk to an accountant right at the outset.
Learning lots, George?
Learning heaps.
Yep. Excellent. Well, next up, you're about to learn more about one other aspect of working for yourself, which is a franchise operation. But not just any franchise. You're about to discover what it takes to actually run and own a McDonald's restaurant.